Master Instructor Vorash had trained Kravek's warriors for 3 centuries. He'd seen thousands of cubs learn the ancient combat forms, the sacred hunting techniques, the ways of honor and strength that defined their species. He had never seen anything like this. The training grounds fell silent as he watched the latest batch of younglings demonstrate their skills. But something was wrong. Their movements were efficient, yes, but they were also gentle. When one cub fell during sparring, the others stopped immediately to help them up. When the smallest struggled with a climbing exercise, the largest adjusted their own pace to stay alongside them. This wasn't Kravek's behavior. This was something else. Who taught them that? Vorash demanded, his voice echoing across the grounds. As one, all 15 cubs turned and pointed at the small figure sitting on the observation platform. Dr. Emily Carter waved awkwardly. Hi. Vorash's 4 eyes narrowed. The human researcher had been embedded with the cubs for 6 months, studying their development. She was supposed to observe, not interfere. Explain, he growled, approaching her. Kravek's cubs are taught to be fierce, relentless. We are apex predators. Yet these younglings display compassion. He said the word like it was a disease. Emily stood, barely reaching his chest even on the elevated platform. With respect, Master Instructor, I didn't teach them to be weak. I taught them to be strong and kind. There is no strength in kindness. Isn't there? Emily gestured to the training ground. Watch, she called out. Tactical Scenario 7. The cubs immediately formed up. Vorash recognized the drill, a complex combat formation meant to test their coordination under pressure. But as they moved, he noticed something extraordinary. The formation wasn't just efficient, it was protective. Stronger cubs positioned themselves to shield weaker ones. Faster cubs adjusted their pace. On my world, Emily said quietly, we learned that the strongest packs aren't the ones where everyone fights alone. They're the ones where everyone fights together. Vorash watched a large cub named Krell, the most naturally aggressive of the group, pause mid-drill to steady a smaller cub who'd stumbled. The smaller cub nodded thanks, and they continued in perfect sync. They still have their predator instincts, Emily continued. I didn't remove those, but I showed them that protecting the pack is just as important as defeating enemies. That helping a fallen packmate doesn't make you weak, it makes you essential. Impossible, Vorash muttered, but he couldn't deny what he was seeing. Emily called the cubs over. They bounded up, surrounding her like she was their mother. The smallest, a runt named Sira, who should have been culled by traditional standards, climbed onto Emily's shoulders. Sira was falling behind in every exercise, Emily said, stroking the cub's head. Traditional training would have left her behind. But Krell started training with her after hours. Now she's in the top half of the class. Vorash looked at Krell. The large cub stood proud, protective of his smaller packmate. You taught them pack loyalty, Vorash said slowly. True pack loyalty. Not just following the strongest, but uplifting the weakest. I taught them that a chain is only as strong as its weakest link, Emily said, and that the greatest warriors are the ones who make sure there are no weak links. Vorash was quiet for a long moment. Then he knelt, a gesture of respect that shocked everyone present. Human Emily, he said formally, I have trained warriors for 300 years. I thought I knew everything about combat, about strength, about honor. His voice softened. You have shown me I knew nothing about the most important lesson. That true strength is lifting others up. He looked at the cubs, at their protective formations, their care for one another, their fierce loyalty tempered with compassion. These will not just be warriors, Vorash said with certainty. These will be the greatest warriors our species has ever produced, because they will fight not just with claws and fangs, but with hearts. Emily smiled. That's what I was hoping you'd say. One by one, the other instructors approached, asking Emily to train with their cubs. Word spread through the Kravek's military academy of the human, who taught predators to be protectors, who showed apex hunters that the greatest strength was the strength to be gentle. Years later, historians would mark this as the turning point. When the Kravecs evolved from feared conquerors to honored defenders. When they learned that the apex of predation wasn't dominance. It was love. And every cub knew who taught them that